So, what is Jeremy Pruitt talking to Kirby Smart for by text the week of the game? That's a good question, but apparently he is one of four coaches that's in this SEC text chain, all of them with ties to Nick Saban and Alabama, and it is uh, Kirby Smart, Will Muschamp, Jeremy Pruitt, and Lane Kiffin, all guys who spent time with Nick Saban and so forth. Here's what Lane Kiffin had to say to Paul Feinbaum earlier today. We're in a group text, me, Kirby, Pruitt, and Muschamp. I must have said something that's funny. I don't know. It's a pretty interesting group chat. A lot of stuff. Sometimes they're saying, how are you guys doing with COVID, or practice idea, or just sharing with each other. Sometimes it's personal funny stuff. It's an interesting group, three good guys. And there's no doubt, I mean, like, all you have to do is look around the SEC to see the influence that Nick Saban has had. But I'm sure those text chains can be pretty interesting because when you think about it, how many people can Kirby Smart really be close to? He's got a lot in common with those coaches there. I mean, he's worked with them, obviously. Some of them, I mean, him and Lane Kiffin were a pretty deadly combination at Alabama when they were together. And then obviously when Kirby was at LSU as a GA, I think it was. Yeah, he had to have been a GA when Will was there. I mean, a couple of those guys made their way into college football by being GAs. But it is interesting to dig behind. You're seeing my background there changing. Dig behind the curtain a little bit about how these guys all know one another. I mean, obviously, a lot of them know one another from their time at Georgia, which would be, Kirby, Muschamp, Bobo when he was a head coach. You had Jeremy Pruitt, who was at Georgia as well. In that about 15 years later, after those guys played at Georgia, for Muschamp, almost 20 years after they played. But those four coaches, younger for sure. It seems like Kirby will be at his spot longer than the others will be at theirs. Will Muschamp certainly under the gun right now at Carolina. Lane just getting at Ole Miss. You wonder if Lane will stay there for a long time or not. I mean, there's only so many SEC coaching stops to go around. Big question is, these four will be on the list of people to replace at Alabama Nick Saban. I think Muschamp may not be looked at so hard as the others, obviously. But it will depend on how successful Jeremy is at Tennessee. So far, he has turned the ship from the wrong direction. That's for sure. The question is, can he jump over the hump? And I wonder what that text chain is like on Saturdays. Like Saturday morning, do you get a couple texts in? Or is this strictly like a Thursday night deal? There's someone subscribing to Dog Post, which you should do right now. Go to the Dog Post website, dawgpost.com. But y'all are in text chains. How wild do you think this thing gets? I mean, these guys, I'm sure, have had a few beers back in the day, if not over the summer, maybe not this summer. But what a wild situation to be competitors. I mean, three of those four play every year no matter what, which are Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia. And, you can't be successful if your friends are beating you all the time. So that's another thing that's kind of interesting. Or is it just a straight-up business deal? According to Lane Kiffin, what he told Paul Feinbaum, it's not. It's just it's a text chain amongst friends. So these guys don't have a lot in common with a lot of other people. I mean, you're talking about the stress of a multi-million-dollar corporation that they're running. It just happens to be a college football program. So there are certain, things I'm sure they talk about. Are they annoyed with their ADs? Are they worried, about pay? Are they worried about their future? Are they worried about do they talk recruiting in a way that's advantageous to all four of them? I mean, they're not at Alabama. Or can the four of them talk about a kid that's picking between Bama and Florida? When you read what Bruce Feldman wrote at Meat Market from a few years ago, that book about Ed Orgeron at Ole Miss, Ed Orgeron got to the point where he knew he wasn't going to get a guy, but he tried to steer him to another school just so he wouldn't go to, I can't remember if it was LSU or Alabama, but one of the two, while he was at Ole Miss. What are these conversations like? Or are they just four knuckleheads? Because that's a knucklehead group, okay? What are they talking about? Is it just knucklehead stuff? Is it about their kids? I don't know. But now that you've got Lane Kiffin back in the league, who takes on Alabama this week, you've got a big time personality back in the league for sure. Kirby, maybe not so much a personality, but certainly a guy who's proven his success. And Muschamp and Pruitt both trying to get where Kirby is at, and Jeremy will try to take him down this week to get there. Make sure you sign up for our newsletter. It's right here. Thanks for watching to all of these. We're very popular these days. Not because of me, it's because of y'all. We appreciate it. Check out the newsletter, and thanks for watching.